Well, we're off on tour. Me, you, this stunning Africa Twin Adventure Sports. This is a 2023 model, DCT electronic suspension. And me, you, and this fine bike are off to Wales via a number of interesting and exciting places on the way. As you can see, we're fully loaded up with the luggage. I've also got my genuine Honda accessory tank bag, which has just got some water in it and a few odds and sods. Mainly because every time you stop, I haven't got to turn all the electronics off and reset all the headsets and everything. It just makes it much easier when you want to stop off and get a quick slurp of water, rather than reset everything. So I'm going with all my friends, I'm going on my own, and sometimes that is the best way to travel. It just makes things much easier. You haven't got to worry about who's got petrol, who hasn't, who wants to stop off for a toilet break, everything else that comes along with that. And I do enjoy riding with other people, that's true, but sometimes I just like to go on my own and have my own timetable. So lots of videos coming on this one, everyone. I'm not going to film all the motorway, all the boring bits, but everything in between I'm going to try and catch for you. So we're just going for the one night, and I've got about 600 miles to cover, so about 200 today and about 400 tomorrow. And I'm going to be using Google Maps, driven by Apple CarPlay on the screen itself. As you can see, I've got no other accessories, no nothing other than the little Wi-Fi Apple CarPlay wireless adapter thingy there. That's a technical name for it. I just think it looks better. I know it sounds really sad, but I like them unaccessorized, really, as they come out of the box. And this is literally exactly as it came out of the box, with the genuine Honda tank bag and everything. So what I've done, I've got a little piece of, don't know if you can see it under there, but just catch a bit there and a bit there and a little bit there. I've got a little piece of the anti sort of slip matting stuff, and that's what I'm going to use to stop the tank scratching up. There's going to be a combination of drone footage, more when we get into Wales. It's very windy down here. I don't think the drone's going to like that. I've got my DJI Mini 2. Lots of footage from this DJI P2, and as you can see by all the YouTubers now, we are all using DJI stuff. And having never used GoPro, I'm not going to pass any comments on how it works, but certainly the picture quality and the reliability, battery life, okay, we'll leave that bit out. Battery life on this P2 is about 2.5 hours. Got a couple of micro SD cards. You have to use ultra high speed ones on these. I've got a 128 gig, a 64 gig, and that should be enough because I've got a spare 64 gig in my DJI Mini 2 as well. That should be enough to get us through the week. So I'm going to bolt the camera onto the helmet now, so we're going to have a slight change of angle. We'll work our way out through the New Forest, and we're going to our first waypoint, which is a very touristy place. It's a fantastic place. Many of you will recognise it. It's about a 2-hour ride, and that's going to be our first stop off for lunch and everything. Because I'm tight-fisted, I've got drinks with me, I've got food with me, I've got everything I need. I'm not proposing to buy anything other than petrol, maybe the occasional drink, even though I've got 6 litres of water on board. And I'm really looking forward to this one, guys. There's no real reason behind the tour. My birthday's in May. I've turned 45 now, so I'm officially middle-aged. I've got a couple of days to myself. Mrs. Head Race is looking after the kids and the dog in the house, so off we go. Jump aboard. Welcome aboard the Dark Lord, everyone. Let's see how this new camera mount works out. I bought it especially for this trip. We've got the DJI P2 on the front of the crash helmet here, and we're going to use Google Maps to get to our first destination. And our first destination is, once you can get to the search bar, we are going to Cheddar Gorge. And it's given us a time, oh sorry, just knocked you a little bit there, 2 hours, which sounds about right. Perfect time for lunch. Coming through this little gate here, a little bit of an angle. Now today being the last Friday of the school half term down here in the south, I'm expecting there to be a fair bit of traffic around. So the way we're going to roll this, everyone, is I'm going to dive in and out of the whole sort of journey rather than film everything. I'm going to film the most picturesque parts and the most exciting parts. So let's just get past this junction here. There's a lot going on. Right, we're all good. There we go. Well, I'm lucky enough to live in the salubrious town of Southampton, which is only about 10 minutes from the New Forest, I suppose, in the real world. But it's one of these places where, even though I've lived in Southampton for a very, very long time, I've only really recently started to make advantage of it. Let's see if we can get around this horse box. This actually used to be an old World War II airfield, and up until I think it was about the 1950s, the old residential blocks were used by the local council, and it's only really, I think, 70, 80 odd years ago people were still living here, which isn't long in the great scheme of things. This is the busiest I've ever seen it through here, and I've lived down here, well, all my life, so 40 odd years now, other than a couple of years in Worthing. So, the weather's set fair for the weekend. It looks like it's going to be a little bit cloudy today. Just a very slight chance of the occasional shower, which really doesn't bother me. We are fully covered in adventure clothing, so it really wouldn't be an issue at all. This busy. It's only 10:30 in the morning and it's like the M25. I'm not sure what's going on down here, other than being the weekend, so all the campers are heading down. advantage of a bike in the New Forest, you can still get through the single track roads, as you can see. When the traffic is this heavy and there's no option of using the overtaking lanes, the traffic can get pretty much gridlocked, to be honest. Unfortunately, another known issue in the New Forest is it's a really controversial subject, guys. I'm not going to say it's all cyclists, but there is a minority of cyclists that want to be as difficult as possible. Again, I'm not saying it's all of them. It is a very, very small minority, and a vast majority are very helpful and do what they can to help. But as always, there is a little tiny percentage that just want to be difficult and cause problems. And sadly, what they don't realise again is that they're actually being very dangerous. Come on. We're going to be here for a long time. Come on! I've never seen the forest like this. Move over, move over, move that way. Fucking asshole. Been down here pretty much my whole adult life, and I've never ever seen the forest like this. Come on. Must have been an accident somewhere. There we go, just starting to get clear now. corner is very, very dangerous. As you can see, it's largely blind, and if you come through here when it's a bit clearer, people are going a bit quicker. Things I'm really enjoying with this Africa Twin is the electronic suspension. It's certainly one of the most amazing features on the bike. Would you do that to your BMW? That's an outrageous colour. They're saying that. I used to work in the motor industry. I used to work for BMW, and I was around about in my early 30s, I suppose, and I was lucky enough to have access to pretty much anything I wanted off the forecourt. And of course, being that age, I would normally go for something like an M3 or an M5. And my favourite M3 was the E46, and controversially, I used to really like the sort of infection yellow, sort of light green colour, and no one used to love those, and they retailed slightly cheaper. The sort of flat grey colour that the CSL used to come in was the most popular one. But what a fantastic car, and lots of people that like bikes are into cars, and obviously vice versa as well. This is a little shortcut I like. Normally on this field to the right here you can see lots of deers. They're not always here. There they are, all asleep at the back.